You can see my screen, right? Okay. Sharwani, can you hear me? Still. Can you hear me, Sharwani? Okay. Can you please join once again? I'm going to. So there is no audio pin, so it will automatically connect to audio. So I'm going to, delete from this. Go to meeting. Can you please rejoin? That means to select or to update or to delete the specific records from a table. So for that, at the end of the SQL statement, we have to write where class, where salary is equals to 100 or employee number is equals to 1. Like that we can use where class. Okay, the same way order by class is used to arrange the records or to display the records either ascending or descending order, right? So for this we have to write a query select star from the source table, order by column name. So on which column it should have to display the records either ascending or descending order. So if you don't write, then it will by default it will display the records in ascending order. If you want to display the records in descending order, then you should have to write DESC keyword. Okay, so DESC will display the records in descending order. Okay, Sharwani, now I think you can hear. Okay, fine. Yeah. Okay, so that is order by. Next, coming to SQL functions. In SQL, we have two types of functions: single row functions and group functions. Single row functions can be executed on top of a single row in a table, whereas group functions, to execute group function, we should have more than one row in a table, right? So in single row functions, we have numeric functions, string functions, date functions, conversion functions, and miscellaneous functions. Okay, so like this we have single row functions. First we'll talk about these single row functions. So in single row, first we have numeric functions. As we discussed in the last class, in numeric functions we have different types of numeric functions, but we are not going to discuss each and every function because this is not SQL training, right? So this is purely informatica training, and we are going to discuss from SQL and PLSQL whatever the knowledge is required from SQL and PLSQL to work in informatica. We are going to discuss only those parts. So in detail it is not required. So you should have some basic knowledge of SQL. So that's the reason we are going to touch up the points or concepts which are important for informatica. Fine. So first start with numeric functions. In numeric function we have NVL function, round function, and trunc function, right? So NVL function, why it is used? NVL function is used to replace the null values with specific value while displaying the data from a table. If there are any null values in a column, in place of null value, if you want to display some specific value, then we use this NVL function. So for example, here we have this table. So in this table here we have a salary column. In place of this salary column, we want to display some salary because here we have null value. So I don't want to display null values. Wherever null value is there in a salary column, in place of null value, we want to display some specific value. So for that we have to write a query like this. Select star from star means here we have tried the column names. So salary, I don't want to display the same salary. Wherever the null values are there, in place of null value we want to display some specific salary. So there we are going to use this NVL function, NVL of salary comma 500. So if I want to display null value with 500, then we have to use like this. Okay, so now if I execute, so column name, so you can see here 500. So like this, wherever null values are there in this specific column, so it is going to replace the null values with specific value. Replacing means it is not going to update this 500 in a table. No, it will not update. Just while displaying, it will display in place of null, it will display that 500. But again, if you execute the query to see the table data, we have still null value. It is not going to update. Just while displaying, wherever the null values are there, it is going to replace the null value with specific value. Next. So next we have round function. So round function is used to display the round off value. Suppose here in salary column we have some we have decimal values, right? I don't want to display the decimal values. So if you don't want to display the decimal values, how we can display means by using this round function, round of salary. So now we will see. So actual salary we have like this in table. Okay, so if I write round of salary, then it is not going to display decimal numbers. You can see we don't have now decimal values. We have round of value, right? So for the employee number 20 record, so you can see salary now 751. So why we have 751 here? Actually we have 750.678, right? So but here you can see 751. Why means after a decimal point, if you have 5 or greater than 5, then it is going to add 1 to the previous number. So that it would be 751, right? So if you have less than 5, then it is going to display the same value. You can see for the next salary we have 750.12, right? So 1 is less than 5, so that's the reason here we have the same value. So for this 800.4, right? So 4 also less than 5, so that's the reason we have 800. If we have 5 or greater than 5, then only it is going to add 1 to the previous number. Okay, so that is round function. Sometimes we want to display this decimal point before decimal point, whatever the number is there, that number. Also after a decimal point we want to display 2 digits. So then you can write like this, salary comma 2. So this represents, so before a decimal point the numbers, also after a decimal point we want to display 2 digits. So then we have to write round of salary comma 2. So if you execute this query, now you can see after decimal point 2 digits. So in some of the rows we have 3 digits, in some of the rows we have 4 digits, but we want to, if we want to display 2 digits only, then we can write like this. Also here you can see after 2 digits we have 6 7, but here it is 6 8. Why 6 8? Means after 2 digits, if you have 5 or greater than 5, then it is going to add to the one to the it is going to add 1 to the previous number. That's why you can see here 6 8. So whereas here after decimal point, here we have 1 2, right? So 1 2, after 2 digits we have 5. So 5, which is like 5 or greater than 5, then it is going to add 1 to the previous number. That's why you can see here 750.13. Whereas for the third one, so after 2 digits we have 2, which is less than 5. So that's why you can see 800.43. That's it. So this is a round function. Okay, so round function, whatever the decimal numbers we want to display, so after 2 digits if you write 2 there, after 2 digits if you have 5 or greater than 5, then it is going to add 1 to the previous one, else it will display the same value. that is round function. Okay, coming to trunk. So now you have seen round function. Now trunk. So trunk of salary. Trunk also will display the value same as round, but there is little bit difference. Okay, so you can see here for the first record, we have used trunk here, right? So trunk, so in actual table we have 750.678. So earlier round, since after decimal point we have 6, it has added 1 to the previous number, whereas trunk function, it will not add anything. So if you used simply trunk of the column name, then it will remove all the decimal values and it will display before decimal whatever the number is there. So that number you can see. It is not going to add anything to the previous number, whereas round, it will add 1 to the previous if you have 5 or greater than 5 number. The same way for the next also, you can see same 750, 800. So trunk function, it will not add anything. If we have 5 or greater than 5 also, it will not add anything. It will display the same digit. So now I want to display 2 digits after a decimal point. So you can write like this, trunk of salary comma 2. So now this will display after a decimal point 2 digits, but also you can see after 2 digits here we have 8. So round, it has added 1 to the previous, but you can see trunk, it will not add anything. Whatever the 2 digits is there, it will display same 2 digits, right? Same value. So like this we can also use trunk function. Fine. So these are some numeric functions. Next, coming to string functions. In string functions, we have the functions like this: init cap, lower, upper, okay, L trim, R trim, trim, okay. So next we have like substring, in string, next concat. So like this we have some of the important string functions. So init cap, lower, upper, L trim, R trim, trim, substring, in string, concat. Okay, so now we'll go through one by one. What is init cap function? So init cap function will convert initial character to uppercase. Now you can see here in employee name field, we have all the employee names are in capital letters. I want to display only the first character as capital letter and the rest in small letter. So you can write like this. So here same salary and employee name, init cap of like this. So select employee ID, employee name, address, salary from this table. Okay, so init cap. So init cap function will convert the initial character to uppercase. So you can see here, earlier we have seen all the employee names we have in capital letters. Now you can see only the first character is in capital letter, rest of the characters you can see in small letters, right? So init cap function will convert only the initial character to uppercase, rest of the characters it will display as small letters. Okay, that is init cap function. Next, lower. So in actual table we have all the employee names in capital letters. We want to display all the characters in lowercase, so then you can write lower function. So lower function will convert all the characters to the lower case, right? You can see here all the characters in lower case. Upper function will convert all the characters to the upper case. So all the characters now you can see in upper case, right? Next, trim, L trim, R trim and trim. So these three are the very important functions. trim functions. So what is ltrim function? Ltrim function, generally sometimes while inserting a data in a table, we will be having a blank space before the employee name or after the employee name. Okay, let me insert one record. Insert into table name values employee number 50 and employee name Ali. You can see before this employee name we have blank space. Okay, so we have some space here. Sometimes we may have these blank space also. Address, BLR, so like this I have inserted one row. You can see now in table also before employee name you can see some character space, one character space you can see, right? So now sometimes in table or a file will be having this blank spaces. Sometimes like while loading the data from file to a table in Informatica, we will be having the blank spaces before any character or a name, right? So while loading the data, I don't want to load those blank spaces also into a table, right? So we want to select the actual string. I don't want to load the blank spaces also. So if you want to select only actual string, then you have to use these trim functions. So ltrim function, what it will do, so it left side if there are any blank spaces, it will delete those blank spaces and it will display the remaining string, that is actual string. So now we will write ltrim function. So select this table name, select column name ltrim. Ltrim function will trim the blank spaces at left side. Okay, so then column name, this name. So you can see currently we are seeing this blank space. Now let me execute this query. So you can see now we do not have any blank space. It will trim, it will delete the blank spaces at left side, not right side. Okay, ltrim function will delete the blank spaces at left side. Whereas ortrim function, it will delete the blank spaces at right side. So sometimes in string we will be having the spaces at right side. So if you don't want to select that blank spaces, then you have to use ortrim function. Trim function, it will delete the blank spaces both left and right sides. So first it will check in left side. If there are blank spaces at left side, it will delete those blank spaces. Also it will check the blank spaces at right side. If there are any blank spaces at right side, it will also delete those blank spaces at right side. That is trim function. Ltrim, it will trim the blank spaces, means it will delete the blank spaces at left side. Whereas ortrim function, it will delete the blank spaces at right side. Trim will check both left and right sides. Okay, this is first use of this trim functions. Next, sometimes we want to trim or delete the specific character at left side. Now here you have in some of the names we have starting character as or. Okay, so wherever or is there, I don't want to display that or. So while selecting, I want to trim the first character or first two characters or first three characters. I want to trim or delete the first two characters or last two characters or last three characters from employee name or any string. So after skipping first three characters or four characters, we want to select that string. So then you can use ltrim function, ltrim of column name, and you have to write here which character you want to trim or. So if I write R here, what this ltrim function will do? So it will go through each and every employee name. So wherever the employee name starts with R, it is going to delete. Delete means while displaying, it will not display. Okay, but it will be there in a table. Just while displaying, it will ignore that or. Now you can see in second, third, we have in last row we have or. So if I execute this one, you can see here in the second, third, here we do not have or. So by using ltrim function, we can also delete the specific character at left side. Ltrim function will trim the specific character at left side. If you want to trim the specific character at right side, you have to use ortrim function. Okay, so now I want to trim two characters. So I don't want to select the first two characters. Then you can use RA. So you can see here we have an original. So we have here RA, RA and RA. In three names we have RA. So you can see RA. You can see here we do not have RA. Here also we do not have RA. Here also we don't have RA. Right? So from a given string, if you want to trim the first characters, then you have to use ltrim function. If you want to trim the last characters, then you have to use ortrim function. Trim, it will check both left and right side. So if the given character, so whatever the character here we have written, if this doesn't found, then it will display the same as it is. You can see here in this name and this name there is no change. Why means this, whatever the character here we have written, this doesn't found. So if this character doesn't found, it will display the same as it is. Okay, so that is trim function. Next, coming to substring. So substring, this is important for interview. So what is substring function? Substring function, it will return a part of a string. What is substring function? Substring function will return part of a string. Okay, so what is meant by part of a string? Now okay, so now here we have the employee names. I want to display from third character to last character, or I want to display from third character to fifth character, specific string. I don't want to display all the characters. Okay, so from second character to last character I want to display, or from second character to fifth character I want to select from a specific string. So then how? So now we can write like this: substring function will return part of a string. So for that we have to write like this: substring of column name comma 2. So what it means? So if you write like this, substring of this column name comma 2, this means it will start displaying the characters from 2. So you can see here we have second character A, here also second character A, here also second character A, here also second character A. So from second character to last character it will display. So if I execute this one, so you can see from A, you can see here from A we are able to see all the characters from second character to last character. If you write 3 here, then it will display from last character to so we have to put semicolon at the end of every SQL. So otherwise if you are not going to put this semicolon, then we have to select this statement and execute. Okay, so you can see now here we have 3. It is displaying from third character to last character. Okay, fine. So now I want to display from third character to fifth character, or second character to fifth character. So then you can write like this: 3 comma 2 3. So if you write like this, so in actual string, let me show you here, in this name you can see the difference. Okay, so third character, what is the third character? V is the third character. From here, what is the end character here? 3. Excuse. You can see here from third character to 3 characters we want to display. 1 2 3. So your output would be VAC. I repeat, Substring function will return part of a string. Inside the substring we have to write the string name, that is column name, and we have to pass other two values. The first digit, that is first three, represents the starting character, and the second digit represents the end character. So from there, how many characters it should have to display? So starting character is 3. From there, how many characters it should have to display? 3. So then you have to write like this. So if you execute this statement, now it is going to display, you can see VIC, because in the other names we have only 4 characters. So that's the reason you cannot see the exact output. You can see here VIC. If you write 5 here, so what it means? From third character it will display 5. From third it will display 5 characters, right? So first 3 represent the starting character. 5 means from there it should have to display 5. 1 2 3 4 5. So till A you can see VICHA would be the output for this employee number 10. You can see VICHA. Got it? That is substring function. Substring function will return a part of a string. Okay, so it will return a part of a string, that is substring. Next, what about in-string function? In-string function will return character position. In-string function will return character position. Okay, so you can write in-string function. In string of employee name, we have the employee names like this. Now I want to display the character position of A. So str employee name comma character position. Which character position you want to display? You can see A we have in which character. So this character position you can see here, A character position, right? So you can see in the employee number 10 we have A at second place, so that's why you can see second 2 here. Okay, so in this name we have A at first character only, but before A we have 2 blank spaces, right? At third character position we have A, so that's why you are seeing 3 here. Okay, so in string function will return the character position. So whatever the character we have in a string, so I want to display that character position, so then you can use in string function. Got it? So in string function will return character position. Next, concat. Concat function is for to concatenate 2 names. So sometimes we will be having in a table first name and last name. So while displaying or while selecting, we want to add that first name and last name as a single name or a full name. So then you can use concat function. I repeat, concat function is used to concat 2 strings. Okay, so how we can use that concat function? So now here we have employee name and address. These two are the string columns, right? Character type of column. Let me concatenate these two columns, these two column values. So you can write like this: concat of employee name comma employee address. Okay, so here I don't want to display address. Concat of the first column name and the other column name, first name and last name. So if you have first name and last name, then you can write like this: concat of first name comma last name. So now if I execute, so you can see it has concatenated. So after name we have the address also combined. Concat function is used to concatenate 2 strings. Okay, so this is concat function. So whenever we have a requirement to add 2 strings, then we have to use concat function. Got it? Okay, so these are the some of the string functions. Clear? Any questions here? Any doubts? Is it clear? Fine. So for okay, thank you. So for more number of examples, you can refer the material which I have shared. So there we have many other string functions, but these are the important. So first what you have to do is, whatever we are discussing here, you should be confident in that. So after that, if you have time, so if you want to know more about SQL, then you can refer that material. Fine. So whatever the functions here we are discussing, again we are going to use some of these functions in our informatica. Okay, next, coming to date functions. What is date function? So date functions we have like sysdate, current underscore timestamp. So these two are the date functions, sysdate and current timestamp. So sysdate function is used to display the system date. So you can write like this: select sysdate from dual. Dual is the default schema. Okay, so we are it's not necessary to create a dual schema. This by default it will be there. So you can see select sysdate from dual. You can see the system date. So also you can see along with the date you can see timestamp also, right? So why you are seeing timestamp here? If you just write sysdate here, to display the timestamp we have current underscore timestamp function, right? So current underscore timestamp will display timestamp, but here for sysdate also it is displaying system date. The reason is, in this tool, toad tool, I have configured, if I write sysdate, so it should have to display timestamp also, like that I have configured. So if this tool is configured to display date and time, then even though if you write sysdate, it will display system date and time. Okay, so we can change the options in toad settings. So you can go somewhere in toad options. So here you can change the settings of that displaying the date format. Okay, so that's why you are seeing here date and time. Also we have current underscore timestamp. So you can see along with the time date, you can see current timestamp will display milliseconds also. Okay, hours, minutes, seconds and milliseconds also you can see here. Fine. So this is current timestamp. So in informatica we use this sysdate function because while loading the data from one database to another database, that means from one table to another table, in source we would not be having the create date or update date columns. So sometimes if we have to in target, if we have create date and update date columns, so to populate those column values with system date, we use this sysdate in informatica, right? So based on your requirement, if you want you can write system date. If you want to load the milliseconds also, you can use current underscore timestamp function in informatica. Okay, so these two are the date functions. Next, coming to conversion functions. In conversion functions we have to underscore date, to underscore number, to underscore char. So these three are the conversion functions we have: to date, to number, to char. To date function will convert a string to a date data type. So if you want to convert from string data type or from any data type to date data type, then we should have to use to underscore date function. In the same way, to convert string data type to a number data type, then we have to use to underscore number function. Same, to underscore char function is used to convert number data type to a string data type. So from one data type to another data type, to convert we have these functions. So to date function generally we use whenever we have a requirement to insert any date into a table. Okay, so suppose let's say here we have date of birth column or any date column. So we want to insert a specific date, right? So we, if you want to insert a specific date, not sys date, not timestamp, so we want to insert some specific date. So if you want to insert specific date, then you have to write toDate function, to underscore date of, and the date format you have to write something like this, and the format ddmmyy. Okay, so this is toDate function. So toDate function, when we use to insert a date, a specific date into any column, we have to use toDate function. Without using toDate function, directly if you are going to load the data like this, then even though this looks like a date, it will not consider this as a date. This will be a string. So since you have written in single quotes, this will consider as a string. So even though inside that quotes we have numbers, since you have written the numbers inside the single quotes, it will consider as a string. So this is not a string, so we want this to be inserted as a date, then you have to use to underscore date function. So to underscore date function will convert string data type to a date data type. So how to use toDate function? To underscore data, within single quotes, first you have to write the date, comma, and the date format. So first 29 represents whether it is a date or month, that we have to write. So you can also write first month, then date, then year. Also you can write first year, then date, then month. Okay, not only in this format. So now if I want to write like this, I want to store like this, 29 DEC 1984, like this. So then here instead of you should have to write MON. So if you are writing here, then you should have to write the month in digits. If you write MON, then you should have to write here in characters. So how it will consider and what are the different formats are there in toDate function, so that you can see in the material. So all these materials I think you have the link to download. If you don't have link to download these materials, still if you didn't get, you send me email, so that I'll reply to you with the link. So here you have many number of examples of string functions. You can see different string functions we have with example of each and every SQL function. You can see date functions, we have different, this to underscore date also we have in date functions, but mainly we can say these functions are conversion. It will convert from one data type to another data type. Okay, so we are not going to use all these, but here you have many. So since you are learning, you can refer this material while practicing. You can practice all these in your system. So you can say sys date, so you can see date formats. Will display numbers of the month. MON, it will display 3 letters abbreviation of the month, right? If it is December, DEC, like that. So if you write MONTH, full spelled out month, so you can see full month, so you should have to provide full month. So like this. So here you have different date formats. Fine. So these are the different types of date formats. So if you want to display hours, minutes, seconds, then you have to write like this: HH colon MISS. Okay, so like this we have. So here you can see the 2char. This will convert date data type to a character data type. So select 2char of system date, and this is so while displaying, if you want to display date data type to a character data type, then you can use 2char function like this. ToDate function here, ToDate of this one. So ToDate function, this will be used to convert string into date format. Okay, so like this. So actual date we have like this. Suppose let's say we have actual date 11 Jan 1990. So we want to add 5 months to this. So if you add 5 months to this date, then you have to write like this 5. So then you can see here June. Here in actual we have Jan, you can see June, right? Add months function we have. So add months function, it will add some 5 months or 3 months, depends on the requirement. Okay, so like this we have different types of date functions. So all these not required, very rare we use these functions in Informatica, but if you want to learn more about SQL, so this is more than enough. Okay, so toNumber function, so it will convert string data type to a number data type. Suppose let's say you have a salary column. Okay, salary column, what would be the data type? Number. Sometimes we also give the data type as varchar2. So as we discussed, varchar2 data type, as discussed, varchar2 data type that will that will allow both numbers as well as character type of data, right? Okay, so if you have any numbers or character type of data, then we can use varchar2 data type. But while loading the data into the actual table, since the data type is a varchar2, it will store or it will save the number into a string. Even though it is a number, since the data type is a varchar2, it will convert into a character data type and it will store as a character data type. Now if you want to add that salary to some any other number, then first we have to convert that string data type to a number data type. So for that we have to use to_number function. Okay, so toNumber function we use to convert the string data type to a number data type, whereas char data type will convert number data type to a character data type, or date data type to a character data type. Depends on the requirement, we can use these functions: toDate, toNumber and toChar functions. Fine. Next, coming to miscellaneous. So in miscellaneous we have two important functions. So these two are very important for interview point of view: rank function, dense rank function. So these two are the very important functions for interview point of view, and also to work in real time sometimes we use this rank function. So what is a rank function? Suppose let's say we have marks like this. We know rank is for to display the ranks, or to rank is for to generate the ranks. How it will generate the rank? We have marks column like this: 90, 80, 80, 70, 60, 60, 60 and 50. Like this we have marks. So if I use rank function, SQL rank function, to generate the rank, how it will generate? So it will start giving the ranks from 1. Okay, for the first highest it will start from 1, and then second lowest 2, the same for the second, for the next lowest we have the same marks. So for the same marks, rank function, it will give the rank as same value, that same number. For the next lowest, what is the next rank? 3, right? It will not give 3, it will give 4. Why 4? Why means here we have same value. If multiple values are same, then it will skip the rank. Okay, so here it should have to give 3, but instead of 3 it has given the 2 because of same marks. So since it has given the 2 here, so it will skip the 3, right? So after 3 we have 4, so that 4 it will give. For the next lowest, 5. So here 5, here same marks 5. Now tell me what would be the number here? What is the next rank here? For 8. So this will give 8 here, right? So like this rank function will generate the ranks. So if you have a requirement to generate the ranks like this, then you have to use rank function. Okay, so rank function is used to generate the ranks like this. Fine. Whereas dense rank function, what is dense rank function? So dense rank function is used to generate the ranks. Okay, but there is a difference between rank and dense rank function. Rank function will skip the ranks, whereas dense rank function, it will not skip the rank. So dense rank function, for the first highest it will start from 1, next lowest 2, the same marks, it will give the same rank. So here it should have to give 3. Yes, it will give 3. Whereas rank function, it will skip the rank if multiple values are same, whereas dense rank function will not skip the rank. Okay, next, for the next lowest it will give 4, 4, 4, then here it will give 5. Like this it will generate the rank. So that is the difference between rank and dense rank function. Rank function will skip the rank if we have multiple values are same in marks column. Whereas dense rank function, for the same value it will give the same rank. For the next lowest it will give the next sequence number. Next number it will give, it will not skip the rank. So that is the difference between rank and dense rank function. Okay, so here you have the queries. You can refer this one for queries. So we also have these 3 functions. We never use these 3, you can ignore. So but these 2 are very important, rank function and dense rank function. A rank function, it will generate the rank, and if multiple values are same, it will skip the rank. So you can see here we have used a rank function. If you use rank function for the first highest one, next to 2 same we have 2, for the next lowest it will give 4. Here is the query. So rank of this value. So for this mark we want to display the rank. You can see 4. Whereas dense rank, it will, for the same value, it will give the rank as 3. It will not skip the rank. Okay, so that is the difference between rank and dense rank function. Rank function will skip the rank, whereas dense rank function, it will not skip the rank. Fine. Okay, so these are some miscellaneous functions. Next, coming to group functions. To execute group function, we should have more than one row in a table, like a min function, max function, average function, sum function, okay, count, right? So all these are group functions. What is min? Suppose let's say we have marks column like this. I want to display min of marks, minimum marks, right? So then you can write select min of marks from table, so that will display minimum number. What about max? Max will display maximum number. Select max of marks or max of salary from table name, so that will display from that column maximum number. Okay, so then average, so that will calculate average, right? So to calculate average, so we should have more than one row, right? So if you have only one row, then how we can calculate the average? So to calculate the average, we should have more than one row in a table. Okay, sum. So sum is for to calculate the sum of the marks, sum of the salary, like that. Count. So count will display total number of records in a table. So if I execute count function like this, select count of star from this table. So total how many records are there in this table? By seeing we can tell we have total 5 records. The same you can see 5, right? So count function will display total number of records in a table. Okay, so these are the sum of functions in SQL, right? Single row functions and group functions. Clear? Any doubts? Okay, fine. So that's all for the day. We'll continue day after tomorrow. Tomorrow we don't have class because this week also they are asking me to take the demo sessions. Okay,